Hey everyone, this is Jared Reston with the Safariland live stream coming here live 2025 SHOT Show. We are here today with Bryce and Adam from Ballistic High Speed YouTube channel, but my co-host today,
Brad Medine, category director.
Brad Medine. Hold on, we're going to get into Brad here in a second, but we got Brad. Today we're going to be talking about comms, and it's going to be what's great about having Brad here. It gets very
personal,
technical into these things, and not everybody knows. So having Brad here is going to be a great job today, and it'll be pretty awesome. So Brad, just give a quick history of you real quick, and then we'll get into it.
So my history, it was a family business, TCI, Tactical Command Industries. We started this thing almost 30 years ago. So we've been developing the high-end communication equipment, hearing protection for military and law enforcement for 3 decades. So brings me here is really excited to be part of the Safariland team and here with Ballistic High Speed and some of the things that we've been able to kind of work through and experience together with these guys. It's pretty tremendous.
All right, Bryce and Adam, give us a quick little bio on you guys real quick.
Yeah, so I'm Bryce. I am the high-speed part of Ballistic High Speed. I've been a high-speed imaging tech for probably 12 years now. And that extends into the commercial space. It's also very much in the ballistics and explosives space, obviously. And yeah, Adam kind of has the other half of that channel, and the channel is the amalgamation of those two ideas, science and high speed with ballistics and all that.
Yep. I manage all of the firearms, the range. I build most of the contraptions that we use. Like when we collided bullets, I machined all of the components to hold all the guns together. So I do that half, he does the camera half, and we get a whole channel.
Yeah, that's great, guys. So, for guys who don't know from like Ballistic High Speed or ever checked anything out, it's more of a Mythbusters-ish, like with firearms, like and fun, like just having a good time.
Definitely.
I'm always proud when we get compared to them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Heavy inspiration from them.
All right, awesome, guys. So we're here today to talk about one incident that happened. 8 million views on YouTube. That's freaking crazy.
That's where it is.
Yeah,
big time.
I mean, it's crazy. So, Adam, kind of run through what happened that day.
So we were doing an episode where we were studying the effects of the backblast of RPGs. So if you aren't aware, out of the rear of the RPG is where all of the rocket propulsion comes. And so if you don't clear that area and someone's walking there, the legend has it can actually take that person's life.
Right.
So we got some dummies and did our normal format, and then on the last shot of the day, the rocket that we were using, luckily we didn't have any high explosives in the warhead because we were just looking at the backblast.
Right.
And to this day we still don't know what exactly happened, but that rocket detonated in the tube while I was holding it and put me in Vanderbilt in the burn unit for 15 days.
Golly,
Oh
man.
my goodness.
Yeah.
Man. So, past couple of days I watched it and I was like, God dang.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Like it was a wild thing. So since then, how's everything going? I mean, did that near tragic event, like kind of with 8 million views on that video, did that skyrocket? I mean, was it worth it to get blowed up?
I would take it back every day. I would take it back every day.
Yeah. Would not do it again.
No, 10 out of 10, don't recommend.
Yeah, so what happened here was, I'm a big fan, man. I've been a fan of you guys for a while, but I missed that episode.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I didn't see that. And Adam reached out, he's like, hey, my headset might need to get looked at. It was in an incident. He called it like an incident. I'm like, what kind of incident was that, And he explained it to me, and I got the opportunity to kind of take a first-hand look at what had happened while you were wearing the headset. And it was first of all, it was like a holy moment, right? You're like, wow, is he okay? Like, because he sent me an email, and I don't know what kind of condition this guy is in, man. He could be laying there on his deathbed, trying to see if his headset from Somalia is still gonna be working, because that was an issued product, right? I mean, that was your...
Yeah, that was how you and I initially talked.
Yeah, that's right. And he actually ended up...
Brad, he did not have issued
not an
equipment
issued one.
ever.
So anyway...
never. That never happens, ever.
What happened? So So the unit actually ended up coming in, and I don't know if I've actually ever seen. You know, I've been doing this a long time, right? He sent it in, and I don't know if I've actually ever seen a headset in this condition before. Right? It was still working though. I think it still worked. It was still operational, but it did look like it was through an explosion. It had burn marks. There was portions of it that were melted.
Yep.
It was. I mean, it was working, but it wouldn't work, if you know what I meant. So it was an amazing thing just to be part of that. I just want to say, man, that was incredible.
Well, I think it's incredible because if all of the damage that was in that headset because I was wearing it isn't into, you know, my cheek, my ear, all that stuff. So, I mean, you can get a new headset. I would have been deaf, 100%.
Wow.
No ifs, ands, or buts without it.
That is amazing.
Yeah, watching it was not awesome because I mean everybody should do it, but that you do. I mean, like you had iPro on, you had hearing protection on, you had these things for an incident like that to happen, and you still have your hearing, you still have your sight. There's reasons why there are, like, this is why you wear these things and do it, and which is pretty freaking awesome, dude. Watching that, bro, and like, you know, Brad was like, "Whoa, what happened to this hearing protection?" Everyone else in the world was like, "Holy shit, that dude just got blowed up." You know what I mean? Like,
are those headsets all right?
What are those comms looking like?
I need to get those back.
I was just like, how are we gonna fix that?
Yeah. So I mean, man, it was crazy, man.
And I don't know if we ever released it or not, but I was wearing level 4 ceramics.
Yeah.
And it had like 3 huge gashes all the way across the front of the plate. So
Right.
I mean, without that, you know, that was headed for my lung cavity.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, that could have penetrated easily, bro.
Yeah.
You know, like,
So with all these videos you guys do, because you've done a lot of product now. Does it? Obviously, now the safety features, the equipment has become paramount. But you've never found yourself falling lax on that stuff just because you do so much content.
No, I've always taken it super serious. I mean, the military, they beat it into your head that, you know, you have to do it. And I mean, with that incident, it wasn't like it happened because we were being lazy or we were rushing things. So we didn't really feel like it was because we lapsed, and so now we need to get, like, I don't want to say overly cautious, but like, start going too crazy with it. It happened, and
it just reinforced why we do it that way.
Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah.
right. And I mean, it validated your safety protocols.
Right.
You know what I mean? And which is, I mean, it was awesome. What extent kind of were your injuries outside of, like, you know, we know what you're doing great, but if we're getting blowed up, but like, you know,
100%.
but like there was more injury than you had to take more injury than, you know. I'm glad you have your sight, you have your ears, but like what, like, did you get tore up really good? Like, run us through that. Like, run us through your recovery.
So I did 15 days in Vanderbilt in the burn unit.
Right.
And then from the burn unit, I went straight home, and a few months of just checkups, physical therapy and stuff. But I'd wound up with, it broke my orbital in 2 places. Some nasal bone deeper inside got broken. Dislocated my jaw, laceration to the cheek, fractured my temporal skull bone, which had a minor brain bleed, TBI, tinnitus to the right ear, and then 10 to 15% of my upper extremities were 3rd-degree burns requiring skin grafts, and then fragmentation throughout my right arm.
Yeah, man. Time in the military, and then you get tore up doing a YouTube video.
You know what they say, if you want something done right, do it yourself.
You gotta get in there.
Yeah, it was a ride.
Yeah, man, that's crazy.
Luckily, I had Bryce. He helped me through a lot of the one-arm skincare, and my wife. And
yeah, because shortly after we were in Texas for interviews on Unsubscribed Podcast and Range Day, things like that, and so we had to immediately start doing aftercare stuff while traveling. And so that was a challenge.
Right back to work.
Yep.
Oh, yeah.
Right back to work.
Oh yeah.
So you were there when it happened, right?
Oh, yeah. Yep.
I mean, I saw in the video, like, what was your reaction to it?
A lot of adrenaline, I guess. Yeah, it was. I think it's hard to predict how your mind or body will respond to something like that if you've never been in that circumstance.
Right.
And it's a lot of learning how your brain responds, and people It's easy to lock up because it's almost like a fight or flight, but you have to be what's helping someone else go through their fight or flight. So it's definitely if there weren't other people around also, it may have been worse because I don't know how long it would have taken me to, get into full helpful mode.
Shout out those other people.
So each person in that moment did something extremely useful, whether it was just calling 911 or stopping the immediate bleeding or whatever it was. So it was definitely a group collaborative effort, and so I'm thankful there were that many people there. At least
that's awesome. So no military background.
No,
none. Did you have any like TCCC training and dealing with firearms and things like that? That's part of like your progression. It's you learn how to draw a gun, carry a gun, be safe, and typically, people like safety-wise will go to like the TCCC side of things, and which guys this really explains like accidents happen on ranges all the time. Like everyone thinks that I'm gonna go shoot this or whatever, but I mean, you got to have that mindset of being able to help when something goes wrong or something like that. I mean, firearms are inherently dangerous, like and how it can go.
Right.
I mean, shoot, with that, dealing with explosives. I was an explosive breacher on my team and things like that. And bro, I hated running around with those things like in my cargo pocket and stuff, like some door charges. I'm like, I hate this so much.
You just want it to be big enough that it's not your problem.
So that's crazy. So I'm not glad that it happened to you, but I bet you are not glad that it happened to him either. But you answered the bell when something happened. Like, 'cause you might think, I'm going to do this, I'll do this when this happens. Watching your friend, in your mind, he just died. Like, if you watch that video,
there's no way.
It was not
There's no way.
like come on, walk it off, buddy.
Rub some dirt on it and get back in the game.
Like, and being able to step up and do that. I mean, that's a kudos to you, bro. Like, because I mean, there's so many people who would freeze during that thing and just and go code black and then become part of the problem, not part of the solution. You know what I mean? Which that's pretty awesome. So,
got to shout out my wife. She did really good too. She was there.
Yeah.
Yep. She went and got the med bag. She remembered it was in the back of my truck and went and grabbed it.
It's just awesome just watching. And again, she probably never thought that she would have to go get her med bag or go get, like, you know what I mean? Like, and it's.
So did you marry her after that or before that?
Luckily before.
Okay, all right. I thought that was the reason. That was a pretty good thing. Yeah. Right.
Yeah, sometimes, depending on the day, my wife probably would have hid the med stuck it under the back of the seat.
Oh, you can charge your cell phone.
It's not here.
Someone can't find it.
Oh, no.
Someone moved it. I don't know.
It's empty.
All right, so for both you guys, kind of give me like a silver lining. What positives did you take from that kind of incident?
I think besides learning more about how my own brain responds to that stuff, which I think is super helpful now, I think now I will just know going forward that I will have zero hesitation in terms of, what are our quality of standards for safety, or, just knowing that what Adam knows with regards to those things, there's never been a reason to question it, and I still won't.
Right.
So it's really just a double down on everything we've been doing has not been for nothing. Continue to do it. It's good to know that, I think. Yeah.
Adam, any silver lining for you?
Besides being a Safariland save, I mean, is there anything?
Did you?
I get to hang out with Brad now.
Yeah, that's right. We have a good time.
I'm sure you had a couple of those moments overseas too.
Yeah.
That whole every day is a blessing kind of deal.
Yeah, for sure.
Where I didn't do any of like the direct combat stuff overseas. So then, waking up in the hospital and getting discharged after that, it's like I'll find myself getting mad at something. And I'll just look at my arm and I'm like, you know what?
It's still here. I'm still here. I'm still here.
It's all good. Yeah.
So with that, you woke up in the hospital? Days? I mean, how long were you out? Or or?
Do you remember?
It was maybe a minute or two of actual unconscious.
Okay.
Yeah.
And
I think it was like 3.5 minutes until I remembered something.
So you felt the pain.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So.
Oh yeah.
So
Brad, have you watched said video?
It got way worse. So because I had a brain bleed, I couldn't have any medications.
Oh,
so
God.
for the first, I think it was like 36 hours, I couldn't have any painkillers.
Yeah.
So I had to get debridled and all of that stuff, and I just had to sit there and just
raw.
yeah, I got a new understanding of a pain tolerance.
Yeah.
That's for sure.
Oh, bro. Yeah.
Yeah.
So with me, I got shot in my body armor, same kind of heat thing, and debriding my frickin' one of the wounds that hit my armor. That was like the worst part of wound therapy.
Like through on the inside?
Yeah, so like, it hits, it puts a pretty heat that comes in. And it's so my rib cage, it was more of it was a burn. I mean, it was a huge burn. Like,
Interesting.
And man, when they had to scrape, like, because I was wearing like a wife beater tank top too, and it pushed all that fabric into my body. Like, you know what I mean? And like, so that would start coming out like the scrum. I was like, this is the, like that, that was probably the worst part.
They didn't have the lollipops then?
No, shoot. But so it was. I feel your pain on that one, brother. That was a good one, bro.
That was a brutal day in the hospital.
So that's awesome. Not awesome that even that your wife was there and things like that, but her stepping up to that and being able to do things, I mean, bring you guys closer. I mean, now it's more of not, just a husband and wife. Y'all been through some stuff together. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, that's a battle buddy. She's your battle buddy now.
Yeah, right. You guys been to war. That's right.
Yeah. I was kind of there.
Yeah.
In and out.
Oh, man, that's great. Just for any of these channels out there or whatever who are doing anything in the firearms kind of realm when filming and stuff, run us through just like you had those safety protocols in place and how important was that in maintaining a safe work environment, I guess, you know what I mean? Like, so kind of run us through some of your safety protocols and what you guys had in place and what maybe would you change? Or like what advice to these guys?
Kind of almost starts with you knowing where the cameras need to be, and then we kind of adjust around that.
I mean, I think whether it's guns for sports or for content creation, it's respecting the tools like you would in any trade.
Oh, for sure.
That's super helpful to always keep that in mind. But if you are, so my background in production, my set standards had to change drastically to work around firearms, because usually it's the cameras kind of dictate where the action is happening on most sets, but in this case, where the bullets are traveling and where the explosives are sending shrapnel define where the set can be crafted around it. So it's a little bit backwards thinking than I was used to, but it totally makes sense why you would do it that way. So for instance, if we can get into this a little bit later with the line of communication we have now with our headsets. It's like if we're out working on a huge range with tanks or something where ultra long distance is required,
right?
We're setting line of fire with tanks and thinking about where shrapnel's going to go. So there's times where cameras are hundreds of feet, if not hundreds of meters away, ultra telescopic lenses, beaming Wi-Fi signals to each other just to get live stream to know what we're doing, and that's all because the tool is defining the standard of safety, not the camera.
Right.
So that's just my own unique perspective on it. But it's something that you just can't question. It just has to be that way.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I always just take that and then apply, at what point do you need to go down to a camera? Do you need to go down to where it is? So how do I get the range code? How do I get whatever's aiming that direction? I like to have a secondary and a tertiary position I don't want to just bolt it to the table and now no one can just go down range. So you got to figure out a way that you can move it. Well, we're often dealing with such tight tolerances on our shots. I need to be able to put it back right where it was. And if something does happen down there, it needs to happen quick so we can get medical down there, like whatever it may be. So he just kind of, we know where the action's going to be, and then Bryce says, okay, for the light and the cameras, I need this room and this room, and so then we just kind of formulate a plan. And
it also changes drastically if it's just us at his home range, or if now we've got to, I guess, quote, entertain other people because we're collaborating, or maybe it's a larger project where sponsors are involved. Then it just kind of compounds on, even if it's just reminding people, don't walk over these cables because you might lose our shot, or you might cause a tripping hazard and now you're walking in front of these guns that are, whatever it is. So it's a constantly evolving problem, but I feel like so far.
Even the 50 cal that we had, it was a single shot. I mean,
Yeah.
It's a bolt as soon as you pull out. As soon as you fire it, we all know it's dead, but I still don't let anybody go down until I personally go up, pull the bolt out, ramrod it, and prove that it's clear. Now,
Right.
we
Yes.
can do
And,
something.
man, that's
Just because
that's
you
awesome.
know it's only got
Right.
one
100%.
shot.
But
I don't care.
everybody will come with that. I know this or I know that.
Yep.
Yeah, even,
Tons of people get shot with unloaded firearms every year. You know?
Isn't that crazy?
Yeah, it's weird.
well,
but-
I think a good example of to not just have a standard and think that you're better than something is, even though Adam and I have worked together for years at this point, I'm still constantly waiting for him to tell me weapons clear.
Yeah.
Every shot, every time, whether I'm waiting to go, set a camera, trigger a camera, go trim a shot because it's waiting to be saved, or high speed or whatever. And there are times where people watch our videos will hear us say, weapons clear, and they think we're being pedantic about it or something, or just like, trying to, be some kind of way about saying all the right words on our sets to make it sound like we're running a real range or whatever. It's like, no, we don't want to shoot each other.
You have SOPs. Like, you know what I mean?
Yes.
Like, SOPs are a real thing.
Right.
And that's you're waiting for him. He knows what's going to happen. He has to call it out.
Yes.
It's not once you have a good standardized SOP, that's just kind of how
So
it's
it's
going
like,
to go.
despite how well I think he might be operating or working, I'm not going to assume that he has unloaded a weapon or has pointed it in the right direction or whatever until he has told me.
Yeah.
And that's just the standard.
His mind, he's doing a follow up or something, and you think
Yeah.
it's over, and it's not.
Because
It's
it can get very exciting. Because usually
Yeah.
what we're doing, like, we think it's cool, whether it's shooting a helmet or ballistic glass or those tungsten cubes. Like, you want to go see what happens.
Yeah.
You just have to
Yeah.
have it in place. Like, no one goes down until I clear the weapon. Bryce says the shots are saved. Now, if somebody steps on a cable, whatever, it's all good. Now we can all go down range and do this.
all right.
But
So
when
I'm
you
going to
get-
ask. So what kind of cameras are you guys using to catch these slow mo? Like they got to be pretty pricey, right?
They're very pricey.
Yeah.
So the brand that I stick with is Phantom. They're kind of industry leading in terms of quality and speed for high speed cameras. There's a couple other camera brands we'd like to start using, like Shimatsu.
Yeah.
Those are the
Shout out Shimatsu. Help them out.
Thanks, Brad.
Ballistic High Speed.
Help out the small guy. Yeah, Phantom has just been around for quite a while. They are like the Red Cinema camera, the RELXs of the high-speed world. They're just kind of the go-to.
Yeah.
I've wanted and started to own them for 12, 13, 14 years now, and I've just kind of worked my way through their models. Most of their team is familiar with me, so occasionally we get to demo some of their newer models, things like that, which is really cool. Yes, very expensive, and now I own 5 of them.
Yeah.
And it's quite the investment, but it allows us to create such novel footage that really doesn't get seen anywhere else.
Yeah,
And
it's the cool stuff.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, it
you
really
got to
is
have
the
the
cool
tools to show
stuff.
the cool stuff. Like,
Right. So
He sent some clips to the people at Vision Research before, and they're like, "Holy smokes!
yeah,
You captured that?"
yeah. All right. Adam blows up. How quick you're like, oh no, my camera.
What did you check out first? The
You
camera
good?
or
You
Adam?
good, bro?
Hey,
Oh no.
Adam asked about the high speed before I did.
Oh,
See?
yeah.
Huh?
Yeah.
Did
But
you get the shot?
Yeah.
he asked that, yeah.
Yeah.
That's
Still
awesome.
arms smoking. And
Yeah.
I was like, did you get it in high speed?
Yeah. You,
Bryce was like, I don't know and I don't care.
so, watching it, I just know guys who've had their incidents caught on, body camera or whatever, and how is it watching for you to watch that, or your wife to watch? Like, I mean, run us through kind of the bad side of not the bad side of things, but I mean, how did everybody handle it and hold up? You know what I mean, bro?
I was pretty fine with it. I've seen some of that type of stuff before.
Yeah.
It's a little weird watching yourself go through it, but
Right.
at the end of the day, I was kind of fine with it. Bryce, after I got flown out, he had to break down all the cameras and everything, and then he brought my wife to the hospital. Well, he had the clip of it, and so he would ask the doctors, like, does it help to see, like, what happened?
Right.
And so I'm sitting there like, just like shivering in pain. And
And he's like, you want to watch it?
he'll show a doctor, and like this surgeon is like, holy shit. And I'm like, oh, that can't be good.
Bro, check this out.
Yeah.
You're not going to believe this. To a doctor, that's a lot.
Yeah. But,
How about for you, bro?
So that was a week of probably 4 or 5 videos we did, and like you said, it was the last shot for one of the last videos that shot happened in. So I had a week of.
Hold on, that just makes
Had to
me.
be
I'm
that
gonna
one.
laugh because it's like, oh well, that was the last shot.
I guess it was.
It was the last place I looked. No kidding, bro.
Yes.
That we didn't.
Was there a
Hey,
sixth
dust
one?
it off.
no
Dust
other
it off. We got
option.
one more, brother.
Yeah, get up, go.
hey man, you got a left arm. Get out there.
But I had 4 or 5 other videos that needed to start editing when I got home, and I could just tell I was mentally avoiding going through some of that footage through all of the other videos, and eventually it was time. It was like, you need to edit this and continue to process what the hell you just saw. And
Right.
So, I mean, it was needed, but at this point I can watch it without feeling any of the same emotions.
Doesn't
I did
take you back,
then.
or-
yeah,
you know what I mean?
Not nearly as much as
Right.
as it did, but yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty awesome. So how did you and Brad get hooked up after? Like, Brad, how did this happen right here? So, like, how did this?
Well, I mean, first off, like I mentioned before, I've been a fan of your guys' work for a while, but I hadn't seen that specific episode, or I had no idea that this even occurred. And we get a lot of emails, man. We get stories of how the headsets save people's hearing, or how there's been an explosion near a MRAP, or different types of things where the equipment has done its work. Adam's actually our only second communications save, and so that's incredible. But when it first came through, it was just an email of somebody saying, hey, would you mind looking at my headset, because it's been through some crap.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I was like, what kind of, Spidey's,
I've seen
Elaborate.
said crap.
Yeah,
Like,
Spidey senses are tingling now.
Interesting verbiage.
And then we dug into it a little bit, and I was like, let me see.
Yeah.
I need to see this. You know what I mean? But from the beginning, it was really great to work with. Super humble. Very humble from the beginning, man. Like, I didn't really put 2 and 2 together. I think it took me a little while to really figure it out, and I was just, well, let's get it in here, man. Let's take a look at it. Let's see what's going on with it. Got the opportunity to check it out, and ever since we've been staying pretty connected. At least I want to make sure these guys don't lose their hearing, and they have the ability to communicate. Did you say something? Can you turn these up?
All right, so in Brad talk, how damaged was that? And like what would a? I mean, it's plastic. It's chips. It's not soft tissue. It's not his
Right.
hearing. But like, go through how messed up those hearing.
Well, I mean, at TCI we see some things, right? We see headsets that have been run over by the cruisers, have been, stepped on and stomped on, or most of the time it's like slammed in a locker or something like that, right?
Yeah, at
This
TCI,
was-
we know some things because we've seen some.
Yeah, that's right. This was different.
Right.
This was, you take a look at it and you can tell it was through a flash. It was through a flash burn. It wasn't like it was sat next to a barbecue pit. This was a flash burn that singed and torched quick. You can just tell by the looks of it. Some internal damage, but lo and behold, it turned on. We were able to fix it, right? I think we fixed it. We got it back to
did,
him,
yep.
Which was amazing. I think.
Good job. Way to fix get him a new set, Brad.
Does this remind you of something? Yeah, and it's a constant reminder.
Here you go, bro. Here's your singed, flash burned hearing protection
We didn't
back.
wipe the blood off it. We just left all the blood on there.
His
everything.
character.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That'll cost me $7. No. No.
We charged them for every bit of it too.
Oh yeah. Overnight shipping and everything.
Yeah.
And with that though, I'm not a medical professional, so I don't know how dead set true this is, but to me, I feel like if I hadn't had that on and at least got that blast around, I mean, if that like ruptured my eardrum and set some more pressure in there with a fractured skull, like
Yeah.
I feel like my brain bleed maybe could have even been worse. So
Right.
even just past being able to hear, it could have lessened the impact of that kind of stuff too.
I mean, I can totally see it. I mean, I'm not a doctor. I did stay in the Holiday Inn Express
right.
while here
You
at
did.
SHOT Show, so I'm not gonna. But I mean, I'm pretty smart. So
Pretty
yeah,
smart.
yeah. That's great. So, from you guys, how was it working with Brad and TCI and Safariland and like becoming part of the fold? I guess you know.
I mean, so far we've had some great direct experience with some of your guys' products, which, like I mentioned earlier, we just got to test out that headset communication stuff that you sent us, and some of the most useful stuff we've ever had. Because usually, especially on long-range stuff, Adam and I have to have some type of communication for, you know, setting up cameras and our remote stations for, you know, streaming high-speed data back and forth to, you know, make sure the shot's still set up when we don't have access to it. And that was the first time we had a proper, secure line of communication out in the middle of the desert, and it was just flawless the whole time.
That's
And
awesome.
that's
That's great.
something we've never had. We usually just like calling each other and not having signal,
Yeah.
things like that. So that side of it, I thought was immediately an upgrade for our productions.
That's
Love
awesome,
that.
man.
Definitely.
That's great.
That's all. So SHOT Show's all about releases. Anything cool for 2025 that you guys are coming out? Like what your schedule is once y'all get into the training or into the.
We have a lot of irons in the fire, but none of them have really solidified yet, I would say.
Yeah, I mean, the problem, and we've done it to ourselves, is we keep setting the bar higher for footage that we've captured.
Yeah.
Because like I tell people a lot, is our biggest goal used to be colliding bullets midair and capturing that in
Yeah.
ultra high speed. And now that we've done that, it's like, well, what's next? And so I mean, we have a lot of ideas of what could be next, including, you know, actually working around artillery like tanks, things like that, or getting more experimentative with types of ammunition colliding midair or things like that. Because while our channel is very much visual and spectacle, things like that, it's also, you know, we want to answer questions that really can't be answered without that kind of high speed, or, you know, we want to show things that really have never been seen before, and it's such a high caliber of thinking, it's hard to come up with fresh ideas frequently. So, you know, sometimes it's just, let's just shoot an RPG into a torso, because that's just going to be gruesome.
People like that.
You know,
Yeah.
and then other
Yeah.
times it's, here's something that's going to take months and months of planning with a small chance of success, like the bullet collision, and that
Yeah.
worked, thankfully.
Yeah,
But-
that's
so-
awesome.
And
So
there's always-
I got something. A high-speed camera would be awesome. Take this idea. Jared Reston put it out there. Bullet versus hummingbird.
All right.
That'd
He
be
Do you
wild.
want us to stay
He
on the
said it.
platform or not?
The world is waiting.
That would be freaking wild.
Patreon only?
Yeah.
Yeah,
It would be kind of cool though.
Where's this coming?
And then done.
High speed, baby.
That's great, man.
Yeah, we really want to dive deep
Peter
into...
doesn't watch this channel, right? No? Okay.
Hopefully not. But we want to dive deep into a lot of some of the myth busting, so to speak. Like,
Yep.
like there's the idea that if a 50 caliber bullet passes by you, it's gonna rip your arm off or whatever.
Right.
And so we have a very methodical way we want to approach that. Like we want to fill a room or a range with fog, and we want to make a plane of laser light and watch the bullets traverse that plane of laser to see, you know, what kind of vacuum is getting pulled behind the bullet, what are each of the individual air particles doing around the curve of the bullet, watch it go supersonic, subsonic, that kind of stuff. And then that idea will extrapolate into, well, if you can see it's only doing this much on the face of a 50 cal bullet, you can then start to visualize why it's not going to be ripping your arm off, and then actually proceed to shooting it past things to
Yeah.
see, you know, what kind of air disturbances are happening. And it's an easy thing to bust, but if we're going to do it, there's a lot of things we could see and learn on the way.
Yeah. Kind of like opening the door on the airplane. You're not going to get sucked out. You know what I mean? Like,
But
you can't
we could do it
that.
in
That's
high
hard.
speed,
That's
maybe.
hard. Yeah, that's hard to replicate. I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean,
Why do they keep yelling at me for trying?
yeah. Sit down, sir. The seatbelt sign is on.
You'll be fine.
That's great. So you get day 3 of SHOT. Y'all been here the whole time, or what's like?
We've been in town, yeah.
All right, in town?
Just hanging around.
All right.
Yeah.
Anything special happen to shot with you guys? Anything, any awards maybe? Anything that you guys...
We did win a Gundy.
All right, well, let's talk about it. It's a pretty big
Deal,
deal.
man. We should have started with
That's
that.
pretty
That's
awesome.
a
Like,
pretty good
We,
thing.
we went back-to-back Video of the Year. We won it last year, and then we got to win it again this year.
There you go, back to it.
2 years in a row, champs.
Yeah,
Hopefully hat trick next year.
there you go.
Yes.
That's awesome. Bullet versus Hummingbird, instant Gundy.
Instant no channel.
Put it on like the back plate, like it's you know how it goes. Man, that's
Dark
all.
web.
Yeah. Brad, we got anything new from TCI coming out?
I mean, we're always innovating, you know, working on some new wireless technologies, all about security and, you know, encryption, really taking communication to the next level. A lot of things working behind the scenes right now. And then a real true effort on just continue to make the product as best, as reliable as possible, all 100% US made and designed and manufactured. You know, it's tried and true to our heritage of making the best communication in the business. Just continue to do that, man.
Yeah,
You
hell
know?
yeah. Hold the
Brad-
standard, bro.
Yeah,
Hold the
gotta do
standard.
it.
We gotta
Brad's
keep
always
going.
wheeling.
Somebody's got to do it.
Yeah, Brad, he's always
He's always doing something.
yeah. He's always returning burnt up headphones to guys.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
Guys, let's start off with some questions from the audience from the live stream. Hey guys, what's your favorite video that you've made together, apart? You know, I want both of you to answer.
I think it has to be Bullet Collision.
Yeah?
I think as our channel grows, the types of videos that best represent what I want the channel to be is that, which is kind of Mythbusters feeling. It's sort of like a journey of discovery of here's the idea or the question we have that maybe we're not even sure is possible, and here are the steps to take to figure out how to do it, and then also seeing the results of it. I think that video is an excellent roundup of that idea.
Yeah.
And also just because it's some of the most wicked high speed I've ever captured.
Yeah,
That's
but
awesome.
What was your favorite one?
Favorite?
Yeah.
Your favorite video, you're like, man, that one was awesome. You know what I mean? Like, did you have a particular Bullet Collision that you were like, you caught it? Like, you caught it. You know what I mean? Like one of those.
I mean, we did.
Nose on nose.
Yeah, we did what, 10 or 11 tries, and maybe 5 to 7 of them were some type of collision, but we had one that was just, it was like a nose on nose perfect hit. It was like, you know, in a college class physics calculation, everything cancels out.
Yeah.
And it just like made this plane of sheets of metal, like a galaxy just formed in front of you, and it's left with this just spinning, rotating disc of the backs of the 2 bullets that just compressed and stopped, and it just spun there in the air, and it was like everything is good in the world. I was like, that is the shot, I think, of like nothing. So far, nothing has. I mean, there are things that are visually more interesting, like an RPG inside of a torso. Like that's just so much going on
Or an
there.
RPG blowing up one of your best friends.
Sure,
Whatever, you know?
Those are also
Yeah, whatever.
cool.
Either one.
It's an okay video.
Yeah, that is one of these shots, and then I think a good backup, a good second place would be when we fired a shape charge into a pure tungsten cube.
Yeah.
The first one we did, the linear shape charge didn't break it, but you could see the difference in speed of sound in the air versus in the structure of tungsten. You could see it vibrate, oscillating back and forth internally as the shape charge is moving through it. Like just like things that your eye would never ever see. You know, things that are moving, you know, 20,000 feet per second, things like that. It's just like those are the moments of, you know, you just got a little bit of the simulation of reality you caught right there.
So I'm gonna jump back to you, Adam, in a second, but I want to. How many frames per second are you getting that? So your eye can't even process it. Like if you're like, boom, wow, that was cool.
Yeah.
Like you know what I mean? Like watching.
Yeah, it's too fast.
Like how you're talking about the sound waves. Like
Yeah.
I was recording some explosive breaching one time, and like I caught it. Like you know what I mean? Like the wave. I'm like, oh, that was great. Probably once in a lifetime on my iPhone being able to catch that. So like,
Yeah.
you know.
Well, so I mean, capturing speed of sound generally is pretty easy. In air, the speed of sound in solids is way faster. Like if you're talking det cord or shape charges or things like that, So we're typically capturing 6-figure frames per second, like 100,000, 600,000. There's been a couple times we've broken 1 million frames per second when we really need to.
Wow.
But
It sounds cheap.
Yes.
Yeah, it sounds.
So not just setting your iPhone up. And
No. But it is many orders of magnitude faster than your eyes or brain could ever hope to process anything.
Yeah.
Yeah. It is hundreds of gigabytes per second of data usually.
I can't even process it sometimes watching it.
Yeah. All right. What was your favorite video?
I think mine's the colliding bullets.
Yeah.
Because I
It's just
built
so good.
It's so good, and I built the entire contraption. I wrote all the software. I did all the coding. He helped me like time it with the cameras and stuff.
Right.
But yeah, it was like a year and a half long of getting it back out, trying some new stuff, order new hardware, order faster processors, and that one was it was a lot of fun.
So this just got me kind of thinking, just what distance are you colliding? Like how far apart are the guns?
Was it like 10 feet?
10 feet.
Yeah. Yep.
And then just
just two handguns, actual handguns.
Yeah.
Because there's easier ways to do it with machined tubes and electrical primers and things like that.
We call those barrels.
Well,
They weren't though.
Yeah, they were
not real.
Yeah.
No, but this was using pure gun hardware and just straight up shooting 2 normal box ammunition rounds into each other.
Yeah, and with all your calculations, does it still surprise you when they hit?
Oh yeah.
Like,
yes.
Oh yeah. Yeah,
Yes.
because we had our buddy Pewview was there, and so when they were hitting and everything was like slicing off, you could hear fragmentation. Or if they missed, I had plates set up so that they would go dead and everything would end right there.
Right.
But you would hear it falling on like one of the barns on my property, and so you would hear the metal ting, and then you would hear some fragmentation. And
I think that was a collision.
Frag.
yeah.
some
So then
frag.
we went through and redid the code one time, shot him, and Pewview is like a supernatural human. He was like, that was it. He's like, I didn't hear anything else. And I was like, really? And we watched it back, and
Yep.
it was like a kind
And then off in the distance, you hear Bryce freaking out. Get over here! Look at this.
Yeah. All right. So with the fragmentation of things, are we standing behind glass, or what are we behind, guys?
It kind of depends. Sometimes we'll run them way back behind vehicles. We've got a wireless trigger system now. Sometimes I've got like a huge 10-foot dirt berm, and then we've had some shields, but it sounds like we're going to start rocking some Safariland shields.
Yeah.
We'll like lean them up against, like if I'm shooting off of a stand,
Yeah.
I'll just lean it up in front of me. That way, if anything kicks
Comes back.
you
Yeah.
know,
I
it'll
do
work.
it. So shooting armor and shooting things for Safariland. I'll put something sometimes when I'm shooting up close.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I don't get that
'Cause there's
backsplash.
no
Yeah.
blast
I
back.
see a lot of posts from usually like smaller channels. We're not the biggest channel in the world, but like you see like they've got no eye pro, sometimes no ear pro, and it's like, maybe it looks cool right now, but when you're on the news for, taking your eye out, and now the whole Second Amendment community's got to come out against you.
Yeah, and then-
say,
yeah.
well, we're
Yeah.
not all like that.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
They don't have eye transplant surgery yet. Like that's how eyes are like a must. Like, hey, bro, if you don't want to wear ears, that's on you. You can be
Yeah.
deaf or whatever.
Right.
But
Yeah. My
your
whole
eye
career is
protection-
my eyes. I
Yeah,
can't.
yeah.
Yeah.
So that's awesome. All right. So another question from the audience: is a collision of 50 cal possible?
Would love to do that.
Yeah. It's
Y'all-
possible.
Anything's possible.
It's possible. We're gonna need some sponsors.
It's just time.
world- the
It's just
world
time
wants
and
to know.
budget.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the other thing. We do a lot of this stuff. It's out of our own pocket. We don't,
Right.
We get sponsorships and stuff, but he's got to pay for the cameras, and we got to do all that. We don't have like discovery money.
Yeah. You got,
Right.
he's paying for cameras. You're blowing them up. He's like, oh my god.
What the
Not again.
The old 50 cal blow gun. No.
No, we could probably make it happen. There's a few. I want to do a 9mm versus the 45 next.
Yeah.
Get some opposing physics, because the 45 versus 45, everything's the same. Where now we're going to bring in, light or heavy versus fast, and so
Yeah.
Or to see
who
if
wins.
like a steel core can pierce through a lead round or something like that, just to see, because there's all these easy questions, but no one's really captured or imaged what it looks like when it happens. Like I think you could tell somebody this is what's going to happen, but
Right.
we're trying to do the actual imaging of these things.
All right. That's pretty cool.
I love that.
Yeah,
That's pretty.
that'll
slick.
be good. All right. What advice would you give guys trying to become a content creator, trying to push their channel, and building a great channel? Like, what was? I don't want to give away like your secret sauce for success because I mean everything's really. But like,
I'm not sure we even know what that is, honestly.
But like what advice are you giving guys as a 2-time Gundy winner?
Yeah.
What would you say?
I mean, step one is to like actually literally make content and post it.
Yeah.
Because I'm guilty of it myself too. I've wanted to do some machining stuff on a private channel, and it's easy to be like, yeah, any day now I'm gonna go make a video and post it. And then you start thinking about it for too long. Well, it needs to have all of these aspects, and it's like your first couple dozen don't.
Right.
Make a video, throw it up there.
Get it
You'll
going.
start getting some comments. Read the comments. Oh, I'd love to see that you did that. Well, add that to the next video.
It can even be way worse than that. So, as I've been a content creator for, like I said, 12, 13, 14 years. And up until when we started this channel, nobody cared at all the entire time. It was just me making content that I liked. Some of it was high speed, some of it was commercial, some of it was short films, whatever it was, music videos. For the longest time, a few thousand views was pretty decent to me. So I think it's easy to see our channel, see our fairly rapid growth over the last few years and think, some people have it easy. And then they fail to see the last 10 years before that of you trying and failing, but still doing it anyways.
You were an overnight success.
Obviously.
That one
Yes.
overnight.
Yes.
No, don't worry about the years I've been doing it.
exactly.
No.
So it was. So I mean, if you're in an industry or a type of content creation that you're already passionate about, then you just kind of have to not stop. To the point where you might feel like you're going a little bit insane, maybe something like that.
Frustrated. Yeah.
Or maybe your family questions, why are you still doing this? It's like, well, you'll see someday.
Yeah.
It's not just one platform either.
Yeah.
You're going to find a different audience on Instagram than you will on Facebook, that you will on X. So, I mean, kind of spread it around and see who starts to hit.
And any new idea is only worth your willingness to give up on it, right? So just, if you don't give up, that's it.
That's pretty much life and just anything really. Like that's pretty. Like just don't give up. And I'm going to recommend if you really want to do it, blow up your friend and film it, and then.
Don't
boom,
recommend.
Boom,
Instant success.
Gundy.
Dude,
and
we didn't even get a Gundy for that
Hummingbird
one.
versus bullet too.
Oh,
So I'm gonna
it
put
didn't
that.
land. Oh, you didn't get a Gundy for that one?
Not that one.
Not that one. No.
So we're gonna let Brad and let you guys talk about. Audience wants to know, what is the Saves Club? Do you want to talk about it? You want me to talk about it, or?
I mean, you have the first person narrative, man. But I tell you, for Safariland, I'll tell you this much: it's one of our biggest honors. It's baked in our culture. The reason why we do all of this. At the end of the day, we could talk about, being the most tactical. The best draw. The best retention. All of these things. Hearing protection, all of that. But really, when it all comes down to is our ability to save lives. And Safariland tracks each and every one of those, right?
Yeah.
And you know better than anybody, right, Jared?
I'm saving number 1700.
1700, man. What are we up to now? Like
2250.
Oh, you're actually saved 1700.
Yeah, I'm saving 1700. Yeah.
Yeah. You're in the club too,
Yeah.
man. And
What's your number?
I don't know. I don't think I have one yet.
Do you have a number?
We're gonna walk out and find your number.
Yeah,
we got it.
the number is it's here.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
Somewhere.
Yeah.
You get it tattooed? Your number?
Probably not.
No.
Did you get yours tattooed?
No.
Then no.
A lot
It's not
of
a
my friends
requirement.
have their number tattooed. It's what it is, but
Yeah.
no, I don't have mine. So that's with the Saves Club, and it's what's pretty awesome is guys like, even you came from a military background and you did these things, and me coming from law enforcement, but being able to welcome everybody into this, because our motto is together we save lives. You know what I mean?
100%.
And it comes from hearing protection, holsters, anything that you look at a police officer and be like, whenever that came from. Safariland made every single thing on their belt. They're ready to their con, TAC teams and stuff like that, and working together. So like that's what the Saves Club is to me, and it became a family. Like so, I was shot back in 2008. Now I work for Safariland. You know what I mean?
Okay.
And do stuff, and like, but that brought me into that fold back then. It was pretty awesome. If guys want to reach out, like so, tell me about the channel. Tell me about how to get in contact. Let's steer some more guys towards Ballistic High Speed because they want to see this hummingbird.
Yep.
Do they?
Everybody
take a
wants
vote.
to see the hummingbird.
Everybody take a vote right now in the comments. Yeah, so I mean, we enjoy collaborating with other YouTubers. You know, we've collaborated with small, medium, large. We just like other creators that are fun to work with. So if you've got some cool ideas, think High Speed could get involved. And we've got emails like Bryce at ballistichighspeed.com, Adam at ballistichighspeed.com. You know, all of our social media is a good place to reach out: Instagram, Facebook, X. And we also, you know, have a lot of external testing that we do, R&D for, you know, all sorts of different industries, but ballistics obviously a huge one. So, you know, we're looking at, you know, military projects, or, you know, if you've got some sort of internal NDA process that you just need looked at but can't tell anybody about it, we can do that too.
Awesome.
So there's a pretty wide range. Having this platform of YouTube allows us to do such a wide range. You know, if it's just, you know, friendly video with another creator, that's awesome, or something where we're thinking about ITAR regulations out on a military base, everything in between.
All right, awesome. All right, sounds like we got a grumpy audience question.
Oh gosh.
Uh-oh.
Those are normal.
Yeah. Don't ever read the comments. But so when's Ballistic High Speed more merch coming out?
More merch?
Apparently it's not available. I don't know what's happening.
Are we like sold out or something?
Never sell out.
We're supposed to.
That did not be a sellout.
We actually have a few new designs in the works currently.
All right.
With all of our stuff that we currently already have designs all on bunkerbranding.com, where most
Say
of
that again. Where?
it's called bunkerbranding.com.
All right.
It's in I think it's in our YouTube bio and links and all that stuff. But we do have a designer now, so we've been firing some ideas off to him, and he's kind of been putting them together. He's like a Photoshop wizard.
See
Got
the
some good
hummingbird
ones.
again.
Bro, a hummingbird shirt, I'm telling you.
Whoa.
Or like slowing down, like remember when Randy Johnson hit the bird going across?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Hey,
I'm just saying.
if that idea starts to fill all of our comment sections, I'm going to be a little upset.
Bro, those little wings going.
Yeah. High speed.
It's like 60 flaps per second, I think.
I don't know.
Not fast enough for our cameras. It's too slow.
Well, I know.
When you impact it with a 5.56, I bet it'll be
I was thinking
cool.
50 BMG, just eviscerate it.
ABI.
Just turn it to dust.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Baseball did it. You know?
Yes. Yeah. Very famously.
Yeah.
That's right.
All right.
Can't imagine being that batter.
That'd be great. Oh, shoot, guys. I mean, I got nothing else more, man. This was a great talk. Thanks for hanging out with us. Brad, thank you for bringing these guys
very
to us
happy to be here.
and watching that stuff. And, man, I'm so glad that you're freaking here. You know what I mean? That was pretty awesome. You know, someone touched you that day, you know?
Yeah.
Besides,
There was quite a few people.
Yeah,
that touched
besides
it.
Besides all the people from the helicopter.
Ooh, fellas, look at this.
Yeah.
But that's pretty awesome, guys, and thank y'all for being here. I hope you had a great SHOT Show. Guys, we're going to wrap it up. This is SHOT Show 2025, Safariland live stream. All right, see you guys later.
Thanks so much.
Hey, no problem, brother.